What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Colin here, and welcome back to this week's gaming news update. Now, um, sadly enough, I just recorded this video and it messed up. But it wasn't the video itself that messed up, it was actually my microphone messed up. I don't know what happened, but there was a bunch of static going on in the background and it made the whole video sound horrible. So I had to delete the video and now I'm doing it again, and I adjusted my microphone levels. They should be okay now. Alright guys, so you guys know the routine. As of last week, I had, let's see, Deus Ex. I do have the game finished. It is done. And I have 2 videos left to upload onto the channel, and then it's done. Complete. Finito. Finish. Put a frickin' fork in it. Now, I am still on Fallout 4 Nuka World, and I started BioShock this week. So, I will have more uploads coming of Fallout 4 Nuka World and BioShock, and 2 more videos of Deus Ex. Now, the one thing that I underestimated was how hard Fallout 4 Nuka World was going to be. I have gotten my ass kicked several times. So for anybody that hasn't played it yet, come with a crap ton of ammo. Come with good weapons that have good damage. And just be prepared. Because it's a good, hard fight. Now, I am on the last ending, which from my knowledge is supposed to be the better ending. The quest I'm on is called Open Season, which is where you are tasked to take out all 3 of the raider leaders. And it's hard to do. Like, it's really hard. I've been getting my ass kicked. But I got 2 of them down. I got 1 left to go. And then Nuka World will be done for me. Oh, wait, no. I got 1 left, and then after I get that done, I'm going to go turn the park on, and then I'm done. Now, I do have other videos to upload for Nuka World, obviously. Now, I have been doing longer videos now. When I first started, I was only doing 15-minute videos, and I didn't like doing 15-minute videos, so eventually I figured out how to splice 2 of my videos together to make a half-hour video, and that's what I've been doing for a while now. Well, PS4 came out with the patch 4.0 last week, and they extended recording times up to an hour of recording now. So, guess what? I've been doing videos that run anywhere between 40 minutes up to an hour now, and that is what I'm going to stay at. Now, but you will have noticed today that there was a Fallout 4 video that I uploaded for Nuka Galaxy. That video is an hour and a half long. And there's only one reason why I did that. Because that hour and a half video is all on Nuka Galaxy. It took me a while to get through there. So instead of separating it into different videos, I wanted just to tie the whole damn thing together. That is why that video is an hour and a half. Just so you know. Alright, guys. So, more BioShock this week. More Fallout 4 Nuka World this week. 2 videos left of Deus Ex. I will have one of those videos uploaded today, so there's only going to be 1 video left, which will be the ending. And then Deus Ex is no more. We're done with it. Now, also starting today, I downloaded Dear Esther and Batman Episode 2. I think it's called Children of Arkham. I'm starting those today. So the rest of this week is going to be Fallout 4 Nuka World, BioShock, Dear Esther, Batman, and then Thursday, September 22nd, 2 days, is a game called Virginia. I'm going to be playing that. And it's being based off of TV series known as Twin Peaks and X-Files. Everybody knows X-Files. Everybody loves X-Files. It was an awesome show. It's being based off of those. It is a mystery thriller where you are, I think, an FBI agent, and you're trying to figure out the disappearance of a young schoolboy. But now, the weird thing about the game is there's no commentary from the characters whatsoever. The characters don't talk. It's just music. I guess the music helps you travel through the game and everything. So, just a heads up on that. There's no commentary in the game whatsoever. There'll be my commentary, but there's no commentary from the characters themselves. So we're going to be playing that. And then, don't forget next week, September 27th, Episode 5 of Hitman. We're going to Colorado. It's going to be awesome. Because normally they've only been giving us 2 targets to take down. This time they're giving us 4 targets to take down. Alright? So let's hop into the news. First thing I'm just going to do right off the bat. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but how Nioh, I think that's how it's called, or Nioh, evolved from a JRPG to an action game. Historically, fantasy game Nioh was announced in 2004, back when Koei Tecmo was still just Koei. I don't know if I'm saying that right, so I apologize if I'm not. And back before the PlayStation 3 even launched. In development with Omega Force, Nioh starred a white-haired Caucasian samurai battling his way across a fantastical version of Japan packed with demons. The game was initially started to launch in 2006 with the PlayStation 3, but missed its due date and slipped into silence, with no word coming until 2009. So until September of last year, we had only received brief statements about Nioh from Koei Tecmo. Yes, it's in development, they said. But nothing more than that. Now, fall of 2016, and in development of Ninja Gating Studio Team Ninja, Nioh has been through numerous alpha tests and is slated to launch early next year. I sat down with Fumiko Yasuda, Nioh's director, to chat about the game's extended development time and the difficulties of reviving the property. Yasuda revealed that not only was Nioh not always an action game, it was initially supposed to be a JRPG, but also shed some light on famed director Akira Kurosawa's involvement, as well as how the property itself has changed. This is the interview person. I played the Nioh demo, and I also played the Samurai Warriors Sanada Maru game, and I feel like there are a few games and a lot of media out there that have this fascination with the Sengoku period, Japan's warring states period. Why do you think that's such a compelling area of history to set a game in? Yoshida. 1, because this is when the first blonde samurai rose. There was Sengoku era. Also, just in general, the warring period of turmoil is just a fascinating stage for any good IP. In the West, we have Game of Thrones. That's kind of a period of turmoil, if you will. Heroes rise and fall. Also, it goes well with fantasy stuff, as seen in Game of Thrones. Based on above what I just said, ultimately we decided this is the period. And it's not like we had a lot of choices, because this is where William Adams made his fame. This game was actually announced back in 2004, so it's been in development for quite some time, and when you initially announced it, you said they were working on a script with Akira Kurosawa. I'm curious how much of the original script, how much of that collaboration still exists within the Nioh that we're seeing right now. Well, practically it just crashed, and we started again from square one. You can say that this is a game entirely original and independent from the Kurosawa's unfinished script, yet the basic concept is there, and the first blonde samurai, the Sengoku era, the very fundamental elements are still there. Initially, Nioh was supposed to come out in 2006, and then 3 years went by and we heard from Nioh again. Can you talk about what the development process like was during those early years? Whether or not development on Nioh was consistent, whether or not you backburned it for a little while, and what brought you back to it. The original creator of the Nioh game concept was from our president and CEO, Keo Shabashawa. He's always had strong feelings towards this game. He is very persistent, and you could almost say he's, well, I wouldn't want to use the word obsessive, but he had his principles, and the earlier phases of the development obviously did not live up to the standard. For me personally, to join the Nioh project, it was roughly 3 years ago, and since then the project was assigned to Team Ninja. And since it was assigned to Team Ninja, the vision became clearer. Aside from the earlier ideas, Shabasha had about this project, eventually it became clear that it needs to be an action game. It had to be challenging. Eventually he agreed that he gave us the green light. You said that when you came in on the project, you decided that it had to be an action game. What kind of game was it before you decided to change directions? Was it a different game? From what I know, initially it was meant to be a Japanese RPG title. Sometime later, because it was handed to Omega Force, the plan resembled more of a warrior game. He only jumped in 3 years earlier. Those were the different possibilities on the side. Aside from the fact that it was meant to be a foreigner struggling to become a Japanese samurai, aside from that point, everything was kind of up in the air 3 years ago. Not like there was a visible game. Obviously, from there, once it was decided that it was meant to be an action game, for it to be challenging, they decided that they needed powerful enemies, and powerful enemies, naturally, they thought of the yokuya from the Japanese folklore. That's how it evolved from the form that you see today. It says, can you talk a little more about the decision to bring Team Ninja in on the project and how their involvement evolved and changed from what it was when you started? I think it's just, in the end, that when Team Ninja excelled in making satisfying, challenging action game, that's how the project was eventually handed to them. Do you feel a lot of pressure? Holy shit! Pressure! Fucking pressure! Pressure! Sorry. Do you feel a lot of pressure in delivering the final game? By the time it comes out, it'll be 13 years since it was announced. Holy shit. 13 years? I actually think that beats The Last Guardian. I think The Last Guardian has been in development hell for 9 years. Wow. That is a crazy amount of time. Holy shit. Okay, anyway, sorry guys. Now that you mention that, it's not like that I felt it until now, but now that you mention it, yes, there is, and there should be a level of anxiety. I believe partially because it's been so long, and secondly because we've been so encouraged by our fans. Though we probably should be a little fearful, but then again, because we're proud of the efforts we've put in order to give the players what they want, and because we also take pride subjectively in what we have created, we'll keep on doing our best, and we think the final product will be awesome. Alright, that was the first little bit of things I wanted to go over with you guys. Now I'll hop into something else real quick. Let's have some coffee. Alright guys, second thing I want to go into here. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? What do we got, baby? Okay. The Associated Press reports today that former Red Sox ace Curt Schilling and a group of others have agreed to pay $2.5 million to settle a case related to his failed video game studio. Schilling moved 38 Studios from Massachusetts to Rhode Island in 2010 thanks to a controversial $75 million loan that promised to bring hundreds of jobs to the Ocean State. 38 Studios and EA released Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning in 2012, but not long after, the studio went belly up, closing down operations and laying off employees. The Rhode Island Commerce Corporation announced the settlement agreement today. It must still be approved by a judge. If that happens, the total amount of settlement payments in the 38 Studios case would stand at around $45 million of the initial $75 million loan guarantee. Jesus, that is a crazy amount of money, man. Lawyers for the Commerce Group asked the court to approve the settlement, saying in court's documents that it is highly unusual case in which it makes no economic sense whatsoever for the parties to proceed to trial rather than proceed with the proposal settlement, the AP reported. Schilling reportedly invested $50 million of his own money into 38 Studios before it went bankrupt. In April, ESPN fired Schilling over his social media commentary. He now has a radio show on Howie Carr's network. The 38 Studios collapse began when Schilling was able to keep up on debt payments to the state of Rhode Island for the aforementioned $75 million loan to the developer. After that, the government assumed ownership of the company and shut it down. The government then filed a lawsuit against Schilling. And other architects of the state's loan to the studio. At an auction in December of 2013, 38 Studios properties Rise of Nations and Rise of Legends were purchased, but Kingdoms of Amalur and the MMO Copernicus were not picked up. Subsidiary Big Huge Games, which was closed aimed the 38 Studios bankruptcy, was resurrected by co-founder Brian Reynolds. In September of 2015, the Rhode Island Superior Court released thousands of documents and depositions, transcriptions, excerpts pertaining to the loan agreement. And that is all I got on that one. I just thought that was somewhat of an interesting thing to go into. I mean, that is a ridiculous amount of money to get a loan for. Like, holy crap, dude. Man. But hey, sometimes crap happens, and it doesn't work out. It's a damn shame, especially to fork out that kind of money, and also have that kind of money given to you to help you out, and then things go belly up and it doesn't work out. That sucks. That's got to be heartbreaking. I wouldn't even know what to do on that little. Wouldn't even know. Alright, guys. Last thing. One last thing. We're almost there, guys. Alright. The best video games are masters of their respective platforms. Somehow the classic Atari game Pong was able to turn a handful of pixels and a controller that was little more than a knob into a generation-defining competition that is still enjoyable today. Call of Duty, although often looked at as a frat house punchline by many real gamers, has written the definitive rulebook for console gaming's dual analog controllers, and this mastery is undoubtedly a contributing factor to its blockbuster success. On March 28th, the gaming world was introduced to a new platform, the Oculus Rift. Like the consoles and PCs that came before it, the Rift has its limitations. In this case, the limitation came stamped with an Xbox logo and bundled in every box. The Rift's initial preference towards controller-based games over hand tracking is seen by many as a weakness. However, it is the game that makes the hardware, not the other way around. Crytek's The Climb is one game that proves it can do more with two buttons than other VR games can do with your entire body. The Climb is, like many great games, simple. You only have two objectives for each level to get to the top of the mountain and don't fall horribly to your death. These goals are accomplished through a beautiful control scheme that is a perfect marriage between the Rift's head tracking and the often mocked Xbox controller. Both components are used wonderfully as you gaze. Controls with your hands are placed on a given rock face, while the triggers on the controller are used to activate your grip. This method of traversal means you'll often find yourself standing on tiptoe to get your hand just high enough to reach that narrow handheld, or squeezing the triggers on your controller so tightly that your hands begin to cramp. There is also a stamina/chalk system that adds another level of immersive gameplay to an already pulse-pounding experience. All of this is topped off by stomach-dropping jump mechanic. You will definitely be taking a few real-world standing breaths before attempting the virtual leap across a very believable-looking plummet. As perfect as the controls are for making the best use of the Rift as a platform and building immersion, they can be somewhat finicky. A few of my falls felt like they only happened because the game was failing to detect that my hand was indeed placed over a valuable handhold. These moments, while frustrating, are scarce enough not to distract from the rest of the experience. Visuals in the climb could be their own separate experience entitled Beautiful Landscape Viewer 2016. Half of what makes this game so enjoyable is simply gawking at the outstanding vistas from every new angle that the mountains afford. Each environment has different visual touches and Easter eggs to keep an eye out for, and they make you feel even more in touch with the simple delight of moving higher and higher up these very large rocks. Complementing the visuals of the climb perfectly is its approach to sound. Audio is potentially tracked in the game. Sorry, guys. This means that when you turn your head away from the shelter of the stone face you're scaling, you're instantly greeted by the sharp whistle of the wind or the distinct song of an eagle. There is also no music during your actual ascent. The subtle soundtrack only kicks in when you summit the various peaks of the mountains you are currently conquering. The absence of music keeps the immersion in place and maintains your connection with the natural beauty of the experience. The climb is a challenging game. Even the easy versions of the 3 scalable mountains will be difficult to conquer without a good amount of falls. There are 3 mountains to tackle, and each has 3 difficult modes that are unlocked as you progress through the game and your climbing level grows. Successfully reaching any of the climb's peaks gives you a true sense of accomplishment, but the higher difficulty mountains will especially leave you feeling like a world-class athlete by the end. There are multiple paths and hidden surprises for each course, making multiple climbs a must. Your abilities are also scored at the end of each challenge, meaning that you may find yourself coming back to the same terrain again and again in order to climb higher than your friends on the online leaderboards, or defeat their ghostly hands in the game's race mode. There may be some control issues holding it back, but in the end, the climb creates a world in which the mechanics are so satisfying, the visuals are so beautiful, and the sense of accomplishment is so real that you just want to continue doing what the game enables you to do so perfectly. Keep climbing. Alright, guys. That is a wrap on this week's news. Obviously, remember, please do me a big favor. If you like the video, please smash that like button for me. And also, if you really like the video, please become a subscriber. I always have content coming out every single day for you guys. Also, obviously, if you guys want to follow me on any of my social media sites, the links will be in the description down below. And that's a wrap. Also, remember, guys, finishing up this week will be Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Only got 2 videos left on that. Fallout 4 Nuka World. Now, we won't be finishing Bioshock. Probably till like next week, maybe. And starting also this week will be the Dear Esther and the Batman Episode 2. Now, also remember that the Dear Esther and the Batman game, they're only like an hour and a half, 2 hour tops. That's it. So, I'll have both of those beat this week. I will be playing both of those today, so recording for them will start today. But those will be done this week. And like I said, Deus Ex will be done this week. And then for the rest of the week, what won't be done will be Bioshock. And actually, it'll probably just be Bioshock. I mean, Fallout 4 Nuka World, I still have quite a few uploads on that to put on the channel. So I will continue those uploads throughout the week as well. Like I said, the gameplay is, I've been recording longer gameplay now, so you're going to see longer gameplays in the Fallout 4 Nuka World to try and wrap it up a little bit quicker than, you know, when I was doing the 15-minute videos or the half-hour videos. You know, now I've increased it up to anywhere between, I don't know, 40 minutes and almost up to an hour of recorded video I've been doing for you guys, just to try and, you know, push it along for you guys, and also for you guys to, you know, enjoy the videos a little bit longer. All right, guys, that's pretty much a wrap on it for this week. And obviously, remember, next week on Tuesday is going to be the release of episode 5 of Hitman, where we are going to Colorado. And normally, the missions up until 5 have been just taking out 2 people. This time, they up the ante, and you have to take out 4 people now. So that's definitely going to make it more difficult, which I'm fine with. Bring it on. Game on, boys. Game on. And then I think that might be it for next week, is just that game. At least that I'm playing, that I know I'm getting, or already have. Otherwise than that, I don't think anything else is coming out next week. But there is another game that's coming in October that I'm going to be playing. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's spelled Aragami. It is, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, you guys remember the game Tenchu? Awesome game. You're a ninja. It's very heavy on stealth. It was a very fun game to play. I loved it. This game, I think it's Aragami or something like that, is very heavily based off of Tenchu. But the art design of it is different. It's kind of cartoony looking, but very cool at the same time. And you're some sort of like ninja demon or something, and you're just going around getting rid of people. You can either, you know, stay in the shadows or go out into the light, and I guess there's like this dragon that you can summon that can eat people, which is freaking badass. So that is coming out October 11th. So October was going to be very filled for me, but then The Last Guardian got taken out because it got delayed till December 6th now. So that took one of the games out, so I was like, alright, that's fine. I had a lot of stuff going on in October anyways, but then this game came out and is now replacing The Last Guardian. So October's back to being cramped. But I did look, and from what the guy said, the developer said, the game's only like a 8 or a 10 hour game. So it's not that big of a game anyways. But it's still going to be really cool to play. You guys definitely should check it out. Remember, it's Aragami. Check it out, guys. The video looks awesome. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, guys. My name's Colin, a.k.a. Mr. Kawa. That is a wrap, guys, on this week's news. And I'll see you guys next week. Alright, guys. Take care. Love you. Deuces.